thanks everybody for coming out. We really appreciate it. Got another great episode here at Coach's Corner. Seasonal mood boosters, tips on how to outlast the gray season. We got Coach Maida here with us. Can't see her. She may be upside down, but she's on here. We got a great episode, a lot of really good content here for her to cover. And we're going to go ahead and get started with some rapid fire questions. Are you ready to go, Maida?
Oh, I'm so ready.
All right. There's a little bit of Wisconsin in there for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Rapid fire Wisconsin edition. Not all the way, but all right. Favorite cheese?
White cheddar.
Okay. Turkey or ham on Christmas?
Turkey.
Burt's Bees or Carmex?
Burt's Bees.
Oh, good choice. Pumpkin spice or peppermint mocha?
Peppermint mocha.
North Face or Patagonia?
North Face.
Brewers or Packers game?
Packers game.
Favorite Wisconsin beer?
Ooh, I don't even know. Bud Light.
Bud Light. I thought you would go Spotted Cow.
No.
All right. So last one. Favorite winter activity?
Ooh, well, at the Packers Stadium, we have an ice rink, so ice skating.
Okay. Good job. All right. You knocked that out. That was quick. Good job.
Thanks.
All right. Well, Maida, I wanted you to go ahead and let's dive right into this here. We got a lot of good content. If you could just, kind of give me an overview and, a little intro to the topic.
Yeah, so today we're talking about seasonal mood boosters, tips to outlast the gray season. Currently, we are in that cheeriest time of year. We just had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Christmas is close as well as New Year's, but what about after the holidays? The air is getting a lot colder, the sky is getting darker, the days are shorter. And that's where people are starting to get that winter blues, that gray season, that just feeling a little down in the dumps. I know being in Wisconsin, it gets a lot colder, a little bit more darker than some areas. But today we're going to talk about how to really stay upbeat, feeling good through that holiday or through that gray season, that January to April, just how to stay positive, how to feel better throughout that time. Myself, I use what I call a mood boosting toolkit. So today we're going to deep dive and help everyone build their own toolkit to get you through the winter time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's the same here in Louisville. The sky doesn't, it's not as sunny outside for as long.
Mm-hmm.
It gets dark really early. By the time you're off work, it's already dark outside. It's definitely easy to get caught in slumps.
Yes.
You mentioned your mood boosting toolkit. I want you to dive in a little bit here and kind of tell me about what that toolkit looks like.
Yeah. So basically it's truly a very legit toolkit. First, we really start with, what are you going to hold your toolkit in? I am a very big journaler, so I write down all my tools. These are things that are going to help you get through your day-to-day week. You can keep them in your head as a mental note if you're looking to do that, but physically picture that toolbox as something you're going to put your tools in, for sure. These are going to help you feel better throughout the day, get through work, just overall get you through that gray season. And the next you're going to do is, what tools are you going to choose? What's great about this mood boosting toolbox is it can hold as many tools as you want. You can have 2 tools that gets you through the season. If you could have 10, your toolkit is unlimited. A few tools that I stand by very strong are stock your fridge, stay inactive, meditation and deep breathing, unplug and connect to people, and go towards the light.
Yeah, these are a lot of really good tools. And I love the picture you really created with that as, something that you can kind of just pull out of the toolbox when you may or may not need it. How did you come up with these tools? Like, did trial and error? Like, how did you come up with them?
Yeah. So like I said, living in Wisconsin, I'm very keen into that gray season. So I've had to try a lot of different things. whether it be just based on who's around me, what I have access to, how busy my weeks are. I mean, weeks can get crazy. And for example, staying active, that was one thing that can really depend day to day on your work schedule. If you're working crazy hours, how are you going to get outside and get active? If the weather's super yucky, how are you going to get out? Well, that's where you can get creative with that. So for staying active, whether it be starting to get more active or continuing with your routine, it's important to get outside if possible. The fresh air is going to be wonderful. It's going to be that key to really helping boost that mood, the fresh air, that sun, if it is willing to peak out for everybody. So definitely try to get outside. Now, if the weather's not cooperating, if you don't have a lot of time, luckily for us, the Humana gyms are going to be opening pretty soon. So you can get there at your lunch hour, different times like that. A lot of other places are having different classes. I'd say keep it interesting, switch things up. Still, if you're worried about getting in that rut, try a new workout routine, try a new exercise that you maybe were always interested in trying, maybe a new walking route or a new running route. Definitely something like that. And one of the big key things with staying active through the gray season is finding something you enjoy. If you're not a runner, do not force yourself to get out in that blistery cold weather every day and run if you know it's just going to make you just less happy and more grumpy throughout the day. Try something that you like, whether it be a HIIT class or a yoga class or hitting those weights or doing a combination of a bunch of different things. Definitely find what you enjoy, keep it fresh, switch it up, and do what you're passionate for.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I know you're a big runner. I couldn't imagine trying to run out in the parka or in a parka up in Wisconsin. Like I don't know how many layers you have to get put on to be warm in that weather, but I can only imagine it's a lot.
Yes, lots and lots of layers is key.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You mentioned stock the fridge. I think this is something I want to hear a little bit more about because I know for me it's the holiday season. Our fridges are usually stocked with things that make us feel warm or leftovers from the holidays. It's really easy to kind of fall into the fridge abyss per se because the holiday season there's more sweets, there's more sugary snacks laying around, there's there's all sorts of very indulgent calorie dense foods laying around. So I kind of want to hear a little bit more about this stock the fridge tool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm very keen with that. I know if I open up my fridge right now, half of it is leftovers, and that'll probably be full of all that holiday food till the end of December. But it's important now to remember to fuel your body with whole and healthy foods. I always like eat the rainbow. Fill your fridge with lots of different colors. I know during this winter season, some fruits and veggies might be out of season, but do your best to find the colors, find the oranges and the reds and the greens and the different colors of all those fruits and veggies and other whole foods that you can use to fuel your body and feel good. Also cook more at home. I know a lot of times during the holidays and then after that, it gets a little bit maybe less motivation to cook those meals at home. A lot easier to run to that fast food place, but it's important to cook your meals at home. And not only are you more likely to cook a healthy meal, you're also use that opportunity to invite others over, do things with others, maybe have the family over for a healthy food gathering, some friends, really get creative with that and fuel yourself with those good whole foods, lots of whole grains and proteins and fats and everything along those lines that will fuel you through your workday and really help you stay full and focused throughout the gray season.
I love that. Bringing some accountability in there and getting with friends and family. That makes it an easier way to, invite them over, cook them dinner, and because, most of the time we'll be going out with friends or family, we want somebody else to cook, but, taking a little bit of that accountability in ourselves and, inviting them over and offering some food. I think it's a great idea, great thing to do as well, especially during the holidays. Is there, with that stock the fridge, any coaches also could chime in here. Is there anything that you have as like a go-to? Like what's a staple that you're going to keep in the fridge, most of the time. So when things are a little crazy, you don't have time to cook dinner, or you don't have time to, cook lunch, or breakfast, whatever that may be. Is there any like go-to meals you're, throughout the season that you keep ready to go?
I'll go ahead and say here, I usually keep roasted vegetables in the fridge. I do a lot of meal prepping, but if there are a few days when I don't have a meal prepped, um, then I'll just have some roasted vegetables that I can go to. Pretty nutrient dense, and I will say vitamin D is huge for mood regulation. So
Mhm.
I really like mushrooms all year, but especially in the winter, just for that vitamin D.
Absolutely. I know for me, I can go ahead and speak on myself here too. A lot of times we'll just keep frozen vegetables in the freezer. I mean, any vegetable is better than no vegetable. And you can find a lot of really good options in the freezer section that you can just keep ready to go. I know the wife and I usually get the or cream spinach or some sort of cauliflower mix, the rainbow cauliflower from Bird's Eye. I literally just bought that, like 5 bags of that yesterday. So I like the roasted vegetables, but just another pro tip here: don't be afraid to just buy some put stuff in the freezer.
I would say for me, it's about like what not to have in the house.
Oh,
More
here we
than
go.
stocking your fridge. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, you all always know I'm one to get raw and real on here, but I mean, it comes down to if you know you have a weakness, and I told you all my weaknesses with chips, don't have it in the house because I went to my parents for Thanksgiving and was helping my mom cook all day. And they have chips in their house, and let me tell you, I crushed it. But it's like when I go home, I don't have that stuff in my house, so I don't tend to have that problem because I know that if those are there, if those are in my cabinet, then I'll have it. So if I do, and honestly, pulling away from that like has allowed me to learn new habits of not snacking. Like I don't traditionally snack unless like I'm intent on eating. So, and that didn't happen overnight. That's like 13 years of very consistent eating. But now, to be honest with you, I don't really snack. Like I'm going to have my 3 or 4 meals and that's it. But I'm used to that, and the body regulates itself. So everything that we do is habitual. It's on habit. So if you're self-aware enough to know your weakness is chocolate, don't have it in your house. If you know your weakness is chips, don't have it in your house. Which let me circle back there because I know it's easier said than done if you have children and things like that. And then I think you set standards for yourself. Like, there's one day a week I'm gonna have some chips. Like, don't restrict yourself so much where you're gonna go ham on something, but at least give yourself some freedom to enjoy food. We were just talking about that today, but it's all built around how you modify it.
Absolutely. You just reminded me of a James Clear quote here. He wrote a book about habits. It's easier to avoid temptation than to resist it. So if it's out on the counter, it's going to be a lot harder than if it's not in the house at all.
For sure.
Absolutely. I'm hopping on the chips bandwagon too. It's something we definitely can't keep in our household, or it's like bag gone that fast. Blaze was right. You can't only just have one. All right, Maida, let's get back on track here. I think you had mentioned something about meditation there on in your toolbox.
Yeah, for me, that was
meditation.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. That's a new one I actually just I just added to my toolbox within the last couple years as I've done a little bit more research in it, and I've actually found a little bit more of a love for it. But this is a great way just to stay calm throughout your week and really ground yourself. When your mind begins to wander, you're feeling down in the dumps, it's a Monday, it was cloudy all day, you had a busy work day, things like that. It's a great way to take some time for yourself, whether it be yoga, deep breathing, any sort of meditation. And that can be something that you do at really any level. It can be something that's very, very complex, or something that you'd follow a Calm video or attend a yoga class, or it could be as simple as you're sitting in your living room, you're taking 5 minutes out of your day, which is something more for me. I will just sit there, take 5 minutes of just deep breathing, recentering myself. And that's something that's been really helpful, and something that can kind of give you a chance to think of some more positive things to kind of get you out of that little bit of a slump that you may be having that day. And it's a tool that you can really pull out anytime. It can be a 1 minute tool, or it could be an hour tool. It's something that you can really use at your own leisure, and really craft to what works best for you.
I love that. I love that you put that little bit at the end about just the simple 5 minutes. I think meditation has become kind of this hot button word, and it's used a lot, and everyone knows how good it is. Everyone understands, oh, I need to meditate, I should meditate. But no one knows what meditation is, because it's so broad. It's like you said, there's so many there's complex methods and simple methods. But with our mind always running all day long, going. And when we take that 5 minutes or 10-minute break in the middle of the day, and we use it to just slow down a little bit. And it's like you said, it could be something as simple as 5 minutes. Just close your eyes, breathe in your nose, out your mouth. No, don't try to think about anything. Just let your mind go blank. I love that. I love that a lot. It kind of reminds me of a big one for me as far as the holiday season. It's like you had mentioned, it is the cheeriest time. We're usually a little more thankful. We have a little more gratitude. But sometimes I feel like another thing is we're kind of stuck in the house a little bit more. So we're probably playing on our phones more often. We're on social media, looking at everything under the sun and what that does to our mind. Do you have anything about like unplugging, or, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. That's another huge tool that I recommend for everyone, is that unplugging and connecting with others. Like you said, it's the holiday season, and we do get in that good habit of being around everybody, or with your family, your friends, maybe being off your phone a little less. But now we're home for the holidays. You go back to your more regular routine. You're on your phone more. Definitely that's one of those times where you should still try to do that unplug and see friends, see family. I know there's not necessarily a specific big gathering time to meet, but find a fun hobby, whether it's with a coworker or a group of friends that live near town. Go do something fun. Put the phones away and really talk with each other. Have those good conversations, and they can still be centered around the holidays as though they've passed. Talk about some fun memories you've made. Find things to connect with. Really just be present in that moment. And another thing too that goes with it, but not so much of maybe more of just that nonchalant conversation, but communicate. If you're feeling down, you're feeling like you're having a tougher time throughout that winter, talk to someone, explain how you're feeling. Don't feel like you have to hold it in all winter, and because that's just gonna dig your hole a little deeper. Tell someone, because maybe they're feeling the same, and you guys can find something fun to do together to make that time a little bit more enjoyable. Plan more things throughout the week, find some stuff to do on the weekends, and then just stay busy. Whether it be doing some work, but truly finding stuff that you enjoy to do that keep your spirits up. Definitely.
Yeah, it definitely rings true. The communication part is tough, especially getting real communication too. Like you said, like that's what, connect with people in person, or, don't, and it doesn't have to be in person, but maybe give them a phone call.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Rather than just shooting a text, right? Like that, we're not going to feel that connection as much as we would if we were on the phone. Or, we all have, mostly everyone has an iPhone or something with a, front camera. You can do a little FaceTime or whatever else it is. at the very least you can see some emotion in their face, or something like that. Even though we're in that kind of time where we might not be able to connect in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what's so great about technology, although it is great to unplug. And that's more when you're just with people and enjoying their presence. You don't want to be just screen face on your phone, like not paying attention. But I mean, it's great that you can FaceTime with someone that's all the way in a different state, or call someone up that you're not living by. So it's a great way to still connect with someone and still being just as present. And that's what's nice about some of that technology we have today, for sure.
100%.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Especially on this communication piece, I want to give a shout out to Beth. So when I first moved to Louisville, I moved from Miami, Florida. So it was a complete drastic change. And my first winter, I was really having a hard time. And Beth, we were like just recently becoming friends, but I was communicating with her a lot how I was feeling. And she actually bought me a happy lamp. So that's another thing for your toolbox too. And I think that that's just a great connection here. It's just because Beth heard me, Beth understood what I was going through, and she provided something for me that's now with me for 3 years now. So a happy lamp is another thing that you can look into. A happy lamp, basically it simulates the sun. So you put it for yourself early morning when you're working. You just put it by your computer or at your desk, and you put it for a couple minutes in the morning, and it basically tricks your mind into thinking that you're seeing the sun at least. And so it works with your circadian rhythm throughout the day. Because sometimes when those days get really gloomy and you don't see the sun, your brain actually gets confused and it doesn't understand that you're in daytime or nighttime. So that also plays into seasonal depression. So a happy lamp is something to look into. And thank you, Beth, for giving me that.
Great segue here into her last tool she mentioned, which was going towards the light.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I actually have that as one of the topics is, that happy light. Those things are truly saviors when it is dark and gloomy all the time. And really a great way to get that sunlight into your day. But as well as another thing is trying to get outside too as possible when we are lucky and the sun is shining, whether it be in the morning or on the way to work, lunch break, anytime you really can, just take that moment to get a little bit of that fresh air and that sun. Going towards the light, that's a huge mood booster, and kind of connecting that also with what Dakota had said. I had that in my notes, as well as there's a lot of different foods that are filled with more vitamin D too, to get that extra vitamin D, because vitamin D from the sun and then from different foods like the mushrooms, and you can also get them from fatty fish and different things. It's a great way to kind of have that healthier mood booster, as well as also you can do like a vitamin D supplement as well. But yeah, getting that either happy light is something super great, in a way to always have that sunlight available, as well as taking advantage of any natural light you can get possible. Definitely. Even if you have to bundle up a little bit to get outside, definitely try to get that sunlight.
Right. And it doesn't even take that much exposure to light to get the effects either. If it's early in the morning, the sun's kind of barely shining, it may be 10 minutes, but when the sun's at its peak around noon, it may only take a good 5 minutes in with some direct sunlight on your face, or if you can, if you have the ability with at least your arms exposed, if you want to be crazy and Wim Hof it and just go shorts only and just sit out in the cold snow and get your breathing and sunlight all at once, go for it. Why not try something new? But you're right, and there's no reason you can't supplement vitamin D. I think it's tried and true. It's up there with the other supplements like creatine and things. It's vitamin D is something I think we've realized, at least over the last 2 years, it's something that most people are very deficient in. So either from lack of direct sunlight, or from lack of eating vitamin D rich foods, even though both of them kind of work in concert. So if you take if you're eating vitamin D and then you get sunlight, it's going to help like help your body use that vitamin D actually more effective. And the same goes for taking the vitamin D as well. If you take, a couple thousand IUs, you may utilize some of that, but if you go out and get some sunlight, it's going to help make it that much more bioavailable. I really like that one, going towards the light. Everyone could use more sunlight. I think we probably heard that 100 times over the last year, but super important.
Definitely is.
I want to switch gears a little bit. Let's hear from, we talked about your tools, the toolkits that you've created. And, like you have said, this was for you. You know what works for you. And, you've looked introspectively and found those 5 things that really help boost your mood. However, I want to see if any of the other coaches have anything to add on top of that. We'll go ahead and just give a kind of a quick recap. It was, keeping your fridge stocked with, healthy foods, staying active, even though it's kind of cold in the season and you're busy, like just finding something, 20 minutes here and there, just staying active, utilizing some meditation or some sort of deep breathing practices, unplugging and connecting with people more frequently, and then also go towards the light. So those were your 5. I just want to hear from, any of the coaches if they have any other tools that they've utilized, during the grayer season.
I'll say one really quick that I've started doing recently. I don't have one happening now, but I started doing a puzzle in another room, especially at like 5:30 p.m. when it's like that switch into it's already getting dark and you already just want to get on the couch. Like I was getting really frustrated that at 5:30 p.m. I was already sitting to look for a Netflix show. Like there's so many hours in the day left. So we put a puzzle in another room and we just kind of do the puzzle, and at least it's like stimulating your mind at that hour, and then you just keep going from there rather than just sitting on the couch. So a puzzle has helped me.
That nostalgia just made me want to go buy a puzzle right now. I love it. I agree though. Like once again, full disclosure, it's like once it starts to get dark, at least in the summer months, you find yourself, okay, it's time to kind of slow down. You find yourself on the couch, flipping through Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, whatever floats your boat. But now it's 5:30 and it's like, well, I'm not going to bed till 10. What am I going to do for, 3.5 hours or 4.5 hours? It's a lot of time to be sitting on the couch. I love it. I'm going to have to buy a puzzle now. All right. Any other coaches, any other tools you've utilized to help just build some mood boosting?
This is important all year, but I'm big on sleep hygiene. So especially in the winter when seasonal depression kicks in for some people, making sure that you cut out caffeine after 2 p.m. for most people, and making sure you're not getting in too much blue light from electronic devices, maybe an hour or 2 before bed is a really big one for me.
Do you find yourself going to sleep later in the winter months or gray season per se?
I do, just because I'm using electronic devices more. So I have to make a concerted effort to try to cut out some of that blue light exposure later in the day.
Any other suggestions?
I'll go. So this isn't for everyone, but I like to be up early. And this kind of works for me year round, but especially when it gets cold outside, because if I don't get up early and work out, I'm probably not going to work out throughout the day, because once I've started my day and I'm cold and I realize that it's cold outside, I'm not going back outside. So just waking up before I really have time to think about how cold it is or what's going on.
You're half asleep. You don't even realize.
Just wake up and go do it. Obviously that helps my day go better anyways, whether it's warm or cold outside. But in the winter, I have to make time and set aside okay, you have to get up at 5, 6 o'clock, go work out, and be done with it. Just makes me feel better, and it's done. It's out of the way, and I don't have to worry about it later in the day.
Exactly. And, eat that frog. It's, take care of the one thing, the biggest thing you're going to procrastinate, take care of it first thing in the morning, and then you don't have to worry about it. And then you probably feel way more productive throughout the day. There's a lot of benefits from it, obviously, but I like that.
Yeah, I'm a lot more energetic, and it is a mood booster. Like for the rest of my day, I feel happier. I feel better once it's done.
Especially now that it's getting darker earlier, it's a lot easier probably to say like, yeah, you're leaving work, it's 5 o'clock, it's kind of dark out. You're like, I'm not going to the gym. You just drive right past it. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow. That's tomorrow's problem.
I'm not stopping when it's cold.
Nope. Because you don't want to get out of the car again for, another time. I know. I like to do, I like the brisk morning walk. If it's cold, it helps me wake up. Take the dogs out, make them walk too. So I like to do that in the morning as well. I don't know if I used to be a big workout person in the morning. I haven't been as much, but maybe I'll get back into it. All right. Any other coaches have any suggestions? And if anybody in the chat, if anybody else on here that has a question, feel free to throw that in the chat and we can answer that. And if not, don't hesitate to reach out to one of us as well.
So one thing for me that I thought of, I can't really relate to you guys with the cold. I'm in Miami. So
Florida.
We really don't get to experience much of that. We do get our cold weather, ending of January, February.
Like what? 55?
Like 60s.
60s, yeah. Oh, okay.
Like low 50s, and then 12 p.m. hits and it's back at 75. So I can't relate to you guys, but some suggestions, maybe, if it gets too cold for you guys, I would say what I like to do is we get a group text together, friends, family, and go over each other's house one night. And even if you're not exercising, but do something fun, game night, involve the kids, go outside for a bit if it's not too cold, and start some races or something, like just a game night overall. And each week a different family plans something else. Just some ideas, just because I always get together with family and friends when we're bored and we're not doing anything and no one feels like doing anything. We might as well do nothing together and think of something. So it's an idea. But yeah, no cold weather for me.
Yeah, I experienced a little bit of that. When I lived in New Orleans, it didn't get super cold, but when it did get cold, it was so humid that it just smacks you in the face and sticks to your body. It was different. It was interesting. But it wasn't like that. It was 50 was the lowest. All right, good deal. Thank you everyone for chiming in there and giving everybody some different tool options there. Maida, if you got anything else?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, basically, I just want to reiterate that this toolbox is your own. Make it your own. These 5 tools that I had mentioned are tools that really have worked for me these past few years, and things that I tweak every year depending on the season or whenever how it's going. But that's what's great about the Mood Booster Toolkit is it's 100% customizable to you. So make it your own, choose the tools you like, switch them out whenever you need. And although the weather is colder and the days are shorter, and that's very unavoidable, the gray season blues definitely can be unavoidable.
Awesome. Thank you, Maida. Perfect send off here. Everybody, we appreciate you guys coming out. Once again, if you have any questions you didn't think of off the top of your head, feel free to email, shoot us a Teams message. We'll be happy to help with you guys. But we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next episode. Thank you guys so much.